Hey, David Wygant, 10-minute daily reality check coming at you with my first three-way ever. I have never had a three-way on the air. Now, I did have a three-way, which when I introduced the two of you, I'll tell you a little bit about the three-way first. I had this three-way a long time ago in a land far away when I lived in Brentwood. I thought it would be the greatest thing in the entire world because it was one of those, masturbation mentally and physical fantasies that I had for so many years. I talked about it. My penis and I went through the rules of what it was going to be. My mind said make it about her and everything else, but holy shit, was I dying for this three-way. When I finally had that three-way, this is probably going back about 10 years, it was one of the most ridiculous nights I've ever had. The girl who was brought in for the three-way ended up leaving after a little while because she got sick off the wine that she drank, which in turn she spilled on my white sofa, threw up in the bathroom. And that's what three-ways really are. And even during the process of the three-way, I realized I'd much rather have a three-way mental masturbation, 10-minute daily reality check three-way than a physical one any day, because I realized that when my butt is moving in the air and I'm doing the horizontal bump, I really don't want an audience. Now, in my brain, maybe at times I thought to myself, fuck, it would be really great to masturbate to a stadium full of gorgeous women. But in reality, I don't really want to do that. So the three-way to me was disappointing, but this three-way with Jen and Lauren is so much more fun because our brains can get off on each other and we can fucking turn each other on via brainwaves. And it's so much better than just getting naked with the wrong people.
God, I hope we don't disappoint you.
Well, it's definitely going to be a lot less work, I'll tell you that much.
That wasn't a lot of work. Sex is easy to me. I don't really break a sweat during it unless I'm asked to do some extracurricular stuff that I'm not used to doing. Like, I don't know what it is, but in Hollywood, they have these scenes when you're standing up and having sex in the shower, right? First off, I don't get hard in the shower. I just, the hot water, everything feels all great. She might be, lathering me up down there. It feels warm. It doesn't really want to grow, So, and I just don't have, rubber bottoms on my feet. So if I did try to throw her up against the wall, there'd be quite a lot of slippage and nothing would really come out perfectly great. And I tried to do it in college and it never ever worked. So this is going to be a much better three-way. So yeah. Jen and Lauren have this great podcast. Tell them about your podcast first so they remember it.
It's called It's Complicated with Jen and Lauren. And it's on AfterBuzz TV and Great Love Media. And we talk about everything to do with dating and relationships.
Great. So I talk about everything to do with life and changing people's reality. So today's reality check is going to be something in California, LA, for example, that we all know. There's a new subway system that was built in Los Angeles. It's called the Woo Woo Train. Now, the Woo Woo Train is full of all these beautiful yoga Gandhis, and they read Rumi quotes and everything else. And they post on their Instagram something that Rumi said. I don't know who the fuck Rumi is, but I see Rumi on Instagram all the time. They wear Lululemon to death, and you go to a place called Cafe Gratitude, and they'll give you blessings. And they'll tell you how wonderful things should be. You get angry, and they look at you, and they say, don't get angry. Embrace them. Show them love. Now, I'm from New York City. If I'm pissed at somebody, I want to go to them and go fucking hell. All right, I'm not going to sit there and go woo-woo to death. So what do you think, okay, when it comes down to, because we've got one single girl and one girl in a relationship. Ooh, a relationship. How's the woo-woo train treating you, Jen, in your life?
It can fuck off, really.
Tell me why.
Because if one more person is just enjoy being single, it's worth the wait, you're working on yourself, all of this nonsense that's basically a euphemism for it really sucks that you're single, but try and make the best of it. I don't need that Hallmark card. I'm living it every single day. And the reality is I'm over it. I don't want to be single anymore. I don't know how to stop being single, clearly. And their little quote is just not making it better. It's actually making it a lot worse. And I want to punch people. So now I'm single because I punch people.
Okay, so I always say if I can time travel backwards, okay, and I had a reverse part of my life, I'd go back to being 37 years old, and you and I can date, because I'm definitely out of the age range right now. You and I can date. We can sit around. We can rip the fucking Hallmark cards to pieces because we're both East Coast people. We can sit there and we can have dinner at Cafe Gratitude and give them all the fucking finger and say, fuck you, woo-woo train, okay? We met. I had to go time travel in a hot tub time machine back in time, or I had to go find Back to the Future and go find the DeLorean to go do all that. I'm the same way with you. I'll sit there and I'll get pissed off and somebody will look at me and go, there's a deeper lesson in here. they always have that weird voice, like they just got out of some hot yoga class, or they just sounded like they just masturbated a little too much that afternoon, right? So they go, there's a deeper lesson in here. You need to embrace it. You need to show them love. And I'm thinking, like, I'm not showing them love. This person fucked me over. I'm not showing them love.
Yeah, I have a problem with that because I do think the general message of like, try not to resist some things on some level is okay. Obviously, you don't want to be like negative about everything. But I do think there are times to like when something bad happens to somebody, or if you're going through a hard time, or you're feeling bad about being single, sometimes you're feeling good about it. If you're feeling bad about it, like sometimes it's okay to just be like, yeah, I'm sorry. I've been there before. Like, it does suck. I felt like that too. Or I just think also that a lot of people who ride that woo-woo train and like do these things and pretend to be good people, I think that you just need to be realistic about it. Always there's ups and downs in life. And the people who are really good at riding the woo-woo train are just really good manipulators. That's what they are.
Yes, they are the fucking narcissistic woo-woo train captain. And it
Like,
should really...
Yeah, like those people, that are like, oh, but wait, she's a really good person. No, she's really nice. It's like, no, she's just good at fucking tricking you into thinking she's a good person. When in actuality, think about the deeper level of the situation that you're in with that person. It's not good. But just because this person's sometimes nice because they know on the outside it's going to make them look like a bitch, they manipulate the situation on this woo-woo train about being great to everyone when really they're not. They're assholes.
Also, they might just be really good actors or have a really great memory for books they've read and regurgitated. Thank you for that quote. We've all read the book, but do you actually live by that quote, you asshole? Probably not.
Totally.
Well, no. I go deeper into that. I always look at people's Instagram feeds, and I talked about this on another show. When I'm meeting somebody and I'm thinking about dating them, right? I'll take a look at their Instagram feed and I'll see whether or not they're self-tard or not, because to me, the self-tard is constantly taking pictures of themselves, because if I am going to have a date with them or I'm going to be in a relationship with them, I'm going to be the cameraman. So I don't really want to be the guy taking the picture every single day, because for every self-tard they put up, there was 25 self-tard pictures that didn't work out. Then I look through the quotes that they put in, and Leo and I, a friend of mine, talked about this on the show the other day. I look at the quotes. I want to meet somebody who puts up their own quote. I want to see concrete, real thoughts. I don't want to see Wayne Dyer's fucking quote. I don't want to see Marianne Williamson's quotes. I don't want to see Rumi, whoever he is. I don't want to see, or she is. I don't want to see their quotes. I don't give a fuck that their broke yoga instructor gave them a really good quote at the end of the day. I want to know what they're thinking about. And I think the woo-woo train, some of the people that I met, especially in Los Angeles, they have sticky notes all over their mirror in their bathroom about practicing empathy and practicing kindness and practicing forgiveness and practicing gratitude. And one person that I know very, very well has gratitude all over her window and all over everything else. And she's the most narcissistic, ungrateful person I've ever met in my entire life. So the woo-woo train is usually full of people who can't practice what they're talking about. And that's why they're constantly getting on the woo-woo train, because they used to be on the boo-hoo train, and then somebody told them, woo-hoo is better.
Yeah, they can't control how they put. I am a firm believer in, without sounding like a woo-woo train rider, in the energy that you put out. I think those people, like that girl you're talking about with the fucking Post-its. P.S. by the way, if I were on a dating app, I would put, if you have fucking Post-its in your apartment or house or whatever, do not swipe right on me, because I fucking cannot stand that. A. B, I think that, people put the wrong energy out. Like if I'm trying to be grateful, I want gratitude, I don't have any, and they're putting out the wrong, so they're continuing to not have gratitude, even though they have the stupid fucking Post-its everywhere, which is doing the wrong thing.
Well, you be gratitude, you be humble, you be, grateful, you be abundant. You don't talk about it. People
Right.
who talk.
What's that like quote? Obviously, I'm going to butcher this, Lauren, but when you can't put like lipstick on a pig or something, like
Yeah.
it's still a pig.
Yeah,
That's right.
what is that about putting lipstick?
Say a quote. Just because you say a quote doesn't mean you're actually somebody that believes that and lives your life like that.
Yeah, totally.
Well, my grandmother used to be somebody like that. My grandmother, and I talked about this, my grandmother was the person that sent me, clips of the New York Times when I was at summer camp, and all I wanted was a fucking O. Henry bar and the daily and the standings of how the Mets were doing. And she goes, did you read the article? My grandmother was the biggest narcissistic hypocrite I've ever met in my entire life. But yet she would consistently talk about things that, that were that were the opposite of her. My mother was the same way. My mother would go to bed at night with her crystals all over her body. And, she'd talk about how she was in gratitude and everything else. And she'd wake up pissed off every single day. I mean, and I've dated women like that. They had crystal layers all over the place, and they were unappreciative of really everything that was going on, and they couldn't get out of their own way. So to me, self-help has always been, there's a reason why we call it self-help, because you have to recognize that you need the self in order to help yourself. It's not, a quote's not going to change you. Living that life, living authentic, literally having a mantra every single day is the thing that's going to make you really change. And as for being single, Jen, why is being single so shitty for you right now? Come on, tell me. Let's hear it, because it's heading into Hallmark fucking season right now. We're heading into November. And, then comes Christmas, and then comes some boring ass Thanksgiving party. And I got to tell you, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 comes down. You better be kissing somebody at the stroke of midnight. So how is that? How is that?
Well, I'll tell you why it sucks, because it's been long enough that I've been single and I'm over it. I've dated a lot of people and had clearly not a great result from it, because I'm still single. But what I keep finding is that there are people that are pretty damaged, or they think they're not damaged and they really are damaged, or they think they want to find a relationship but they really don't want to, because there's so many options out there, and these dating apps just breed that, because there's so many options just at your fingertips. And if you go on a date and it was okay, you go home and you keep swiping. You don't say, I give it a second chance, and that person gets buried in the lineup of who's next. So I think that maybe it's the city, because people come here first to work, second to God knows what, and then maybe somewhere on the list of priorities is finding love. It's not like in a city where there's, a bunch of business people that have already gotten their careers, and now they're like, the next step is finding love. And that's like maybe just an old timey thing that people used to do that. And my mom still asks me, like, you are 32 years old. Where is your husband? Please go to Temple and find him. I'm like, he's not there. He's not there. You know why? You know who's there? Families. Families are there. He's already married. He's got 3 kids. That guy's not my guy. He's already married. So unless I kill his wife, he's pretty much married. Where's my guy? I don't know. You tell me, I'll go find him. But
Okay. So I mean, here's good. Okay, this is good. First off, okay, we all can blame the town, and I think this town definitely has its share of woo-woos and nuts and fruitcakes and other things. But what really comes down to, and this is something that I tell, I look at myself all the time. When I go out on a date, I ask somebody immediately to see their phone, because I want to know if they're a swipeaholic or not. Here's the trick. Okay, everybody listen to this. This is the greatest thing. The greasier the phone, the more swiping they do. Now you can see the actual skid mark going across the phone. You can look at it. And if you look at somebody's phone under the light, you'll see like this disgusting line that literally is their thumb or their finger sliding across, and there's about an inch of grease on each side of the phone, leading to that disgusting little skid mark in the middle of that. And that's somebody is literally going to go out with you for 2 hours, time the date, 90 minutes, ask you some stupid things, and they're going to go home, they're going to swipe more. And this is something that I think is crazy. There is no bigger, better deal. If you've dated a lot, and I've dated a shitload, I've been pretty much single for the last 5.5 years. I had a couple of relationships thrown in there. I do know what I want. I know exactly what I'm looking for. And I've had a couple of what I call close calls, and I've given people opportunities, and they've shown up, and I've shown up, and I've learned some wonderful things. And, we've shared some good moments, and yet I'm still out there because I know there's somebody out there that's going to be really amazing for me. And I don't swipe it nonstop, because swiping is the biggest waste of time in the entire world. It's boring. Nobody looks like their pictures. And there's internet age. It's like dog years. It's like, well, she's 32 on the internet, but she's actually 47 and a half. She's 5'6" on the internet, but she's actually 5'3". He has hair on the internet, but he's actually as bald as a baby's ass. So that's the internet for you. So I'm still about meeting and surrendering. And that's something, Jen, that, and Lauren, we've talked about this. I'm into surrendering to my life. Life is magical. I'm going to surrender to it. Because when you surrender to it, that's not the woo-woo train. That's actually accepting the beautiful gifts that come in every single day.
Yeah, I think that's what people mean when they say, like, enjoy being single. It's just hearing that annoying cliched catchphrase that's lazy. We've talked about that, like that lazy language. It's just like, you don't even know what you're fucking saying. Like, think about what you're saying. I can equate to like when I was single for like 10 years, and there was a time towards the end of that when I met a guy that ended up being a dick and then ultimately met my boyfriend now, that where I really honestly had an honest moment where I don't know how it fucking happened, but I said, I really am like having fun being single. I want a boyfriend. I do. I want one. I'm just kind of having fun right now. And I don't know what got me there. It wasn't some esoteric fucking yoga retreat. I just felt like that then, and then things happened. But I think that people are really lazy with their statements like that. They're woo-woo trained, lazy statements. Like, just embrace it and be in the moment. And it's like, what? No.
Just embrace it and also like enjoy being single. I just said I don't enjoy it and you're telling me to enjoy it. So all of a sudden now I'm going to enjoy it just because you said to enjoy it. Also, I'm sorry, I'm going to take stock in what you're doing with your life and maybe possibly weigh that against me enjoying being single because you said so. Probably not going to do it because I don't like being single. But thank you for offering.
Yeah. It's patronizing, I think, and disregarding when you're saying you're not enjoying something, you're sad about something, and someone's like, no, you're like, no, yes, that is it. Like, let me be me. Like, I'm embracing not liking it. How about that?
It's a ride, and it's bumpy some days. And, other times it's like you got hope. And other times you go through periods of like, this sucks. You got to get off the couch and go gear up for another date and open up. I mean, it's like, it is a ride, but eventually the ride always ends. It always does. No one's ever going to be single permanently from hell. I don't see any cats in Jen's future, so I don't see her as crazy cat.
Yeah. That might be who I'm kissing on New Year's. So.
I did see your dog. Your dog is really cute too. So your dog is cute. And, I might be kissing, I might, use my pillow cuddle. The pillow cuddle trick? Where you arrange the pillows in certain positions. So in the middle of the night, if you bang into them at any time, it feels really good and cozy and cuddly, and you can spoon one, yet you can just kind of move away and spoon the other one. It's kind of like, it's going back to the three-way. My pillows and I have three-ways every single night, and nobody asks for anything, and it's great. There's no performance anxiety or anything there. So I just think it's a ride, and I think we need to embrace the ride and always realize the ride will always come to an end. There's always going to be somebody out there who's really looking for you. It's just, you got to collide, and you got to literally explore every avenue. So if anybody knows a great guy for Jen living in the greater Los Angeles area, let's see, go 32 to 42. How's that sound?
Works for me.
Okay. Kids, you want kids?
I want at least one.
Okay, at least one rugrat in the future, okay? You must have a job and be successful and have your career already taken care of. Successful doesn't mean you need to be the richest guy in the entire world. It means that you actually have and can pay bills and actually can take her out, take her to Hawaii every Christmas and New Year's because she deserves that because she's been single for a while. And the fact of the matter is it would be really good. So tall, about 6 feet tall, right, at least?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
Wow, you are, David, you are on it.
I'm good, right? The body's got to be good. She's got a rock and bod, so the guy's got to be in good shape, okay? Hey, Jen, when's your birthday? What sign are you? Just in case one of these little airy-fairy, woo-woo guys like signs. What are you?
Well, I'm a Capricorn, and that actually means a lot to me because I'm like the most Capricorn you can get. Okay,
December Cap or January Cap?
December, first day.
Okay, it's December 22nd, right?
Yep.
Okay, so December 22nd, I'm a Cancer, so we would get along great because you're the polar opposite of me. We're both real sensitive signs. So we need a sensitive guy. You should be kind of like a Cancer or a Pisces, somebody who's nice and cuddly. Love language is what? Is it touch and words?
Words and thoughtful. What's the thoughtful one?
Words. Acts of service, yeah. All right, so acts of service doesn't mean buying her gifts, doing great things for her, emptying the dishwasher, taking the garbage out, walking the dog at 11 o'clock at night, picking up the shit in the plastic bag, especially if the bag has a hole in it, because that shows that you're a real man, that you're willing to go wash your hands afterwards. So if you live in the greater LA area and you're willing to drive and willing to commit to somebody that's super fucking cool, then you get in touch with me at my website, davidwygant.com. We spread this podcast all over the place, so that's what I want you to do. Every single person who listens to this in LA needs to spread this to 5 or 6 people because she's a fucking catch and she deserves it. So there, I put it out. I spoke for you today, all right?
No woo-woo. No woo-woo need apply.
No woo-woos, no fucking overly tattooed guys with symbols of like weird stuff on it and they don't even know why it's there. No eagles on the back, no mail tramp stamp or anything else. And you must like dogs, because this dog was really cute and really, really cool. So I put it out there for you. Now, hopefully I made your night. So where can everybody reach the two of you? Tell them about your show one more time.
Well, you can find me at Lauren Leonelli on all the socials, and you can follow our show at Complicated Show on all the socials as well.
And you can follow me at Jennifer Golden on all the socials as well.
And Jennifer, Jewish guy or non-Jewish guy?
Doesn't matter.
All right, doesn't matter. That's how I feel. Circumcised or uncircumcised?
Circumcised.
All right, there we go. So your penis must be Jewish, okay? The penis must speak like this. Oh, God, I'm very, very good, and I'm very hard, and I'm going to please you. So the penis is Jewish. The rest of you can be a goy. Is it a goyim? What do our parents say? Goyims, right?
Goyim.
Goyim. You can be a goyim, okay? Could they be a little bald? Hair? Does it have a lot of hair, or doesn't matter?
Doesn't matter.
I love it. All right. So your job, audience, is to match her. Okay. We've been getting a lot of new listeners lately. So the fact is, you all need to go and match her. The rest of you, your reality is, if you're going to ride the woo-woo train, please live your words and don't just be a woo-woo conductor, because we might as well buy you a toy train set for Christmas and allow you to play it in your room. My three-way, first one on the air, went well. We'll have a three-way again real soon, and I'll see you all later.